Hello everyone. This is going to be a bit of a different vlog from me. I am sat on my sofa at home. I didn't know how to bring you this one, but everybody wanted my riding journey, so I'm going to try and piece together. I've got more footage as time's gone on, but try and piece together some footage. Those of you that know me will probably know my journey. I haven't had loads of horses. I'm not from a horsey background. And those of you that don't, I'm going to try and piece it together here. I don't know how long this vlog is going to be, whether I have to do it in two parts. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but it's really hard trying to do this kind of recording with a baby. So she's currently asleep in the car. And find all the footage, because I've gone to events on my own for forever. It's only recently, since I've had the baby, that I've had people with me to help with the baby that can then video. So I started in a riding school, started helping out, and then I loaned a pony from the riding school, and then eventually got my own. The loaning wasn't quite working out, and my nana gave my mum £1,000. That's how much it was. She gave her £1,000, and she said, and this was for my birthday/Christmas present. We got Buzz Lightyear, my first pony, in February. So it didn't take us too long to find him. And it was originally for me and my sisters to share. We all learnt to ride, but I was kind of the ringleader. I wanted a riding lesson, I think, for my 5th birthday, maybe my 6th. And then it spiralled quite drastically from there. So started out in a riding school and then got my first pony, Buzz. I'm going to insert some footage here of a clip that is on YouTube. I'm not sure how. I don't remember ever starting a YouTube for Buzz. I was 11, very much loved the colour purple, as you will see. I'm going to insert the clip with a bit of a voiceover of me trying Buzz to buy him, and you will just see by my face how excited and how grateful I was. I just wanted a pony. I didn't need to go anywhere. I didn't need anything else. I just wanted a pony to love and to cuddle, and I appreciate how lucky I was that my nana gave us that money. I mean, now £1,000 wouldn't buy you what Buzz was, but Buzz wouldn't jump. All we wanted was something that was safe to hack, and he was that, and he actually turned out to be quite a little superstar. I'm going to insert the footage and do a bit of a voiceover first. Here he is, 13.2, Buzz Lightyear, my first pony. I was 11, and this is us trying him to buy. Again, he was just a safe hack. That's all he was. And we ended up not just having a pony and cuddling him. We ended up borrowing a trailer, and then it all spiraled from there, but I'll come back in a minute. But you can just see how happy I am. So I don't think there's any more footage of Buzz. There are some photos, so I'm going to try and insert some photos. So I'll try and find a few of me in that beautiful purple get-up, and I'll put them here. So these photos are from the same day that we tried him. My first pony, Buzz Lightyear, there you go, 2005. I liked the colour purple. Buzz didn't jump, he just was a safe hack, just wanted a pony to cuddle. We did Pony Club. We didn't even know what Pony Club was. We accidentally drove past a field that was holding a Pony Club rally one day, and we stopped in, went and said hello. Turned out to be really good friends of mine for a long time. And we joined in on Pony Club, and I'll put some photos, some of my favourite photos of me and Buzz jumping at Pony Club camp. I remember he didn't jump. Here we are, Pony Club camp. I mean, what a jump for a pony that didn't jump. And he gave me a really, really good introduction, and also taught me never to give up. He was so very handsome as well. I took all the jumps from the arena at the livery yard we were at, and I put them in the field in the summer to try and get him to jump, and succeeded. But it took me a very long time. I was very stubborn. And then we actually sold him to a show jumping home when I got too big. And he went on to do amazing things. He passed away a few years ago. I remember getting the phone call to tell me, and I was very sad. But he'd gone on, and other children had loved him, and he was a superstar. We did some showing. He was where I first got my love for showing. I think I've got some good showing photos, so I'm going to put them in here, hopefully. Editing's still a work in progress. Here we are, our championship photo. I was very proud. And yeah, we did some showing, just local riding club. At the time, to me, that was like the Olympics. We tried really hard and we did win. And that will be the photo that I've just put in is him winning the show hunter pony class at the local riding club at the end of the year, and I was absolutely over the moon. And that just, we'd borrowed a trailer. We didn't own a trailer. We borrowed a trailer, borrowed a 4x4 to take, and it was a really old trailer to take him to these shows. Mum and I were learning how to plait. Again, I was 11, probably 12 when we did the shows. I was really young. We were learning how to plait. Mum's not horsey, so it was all very much from the bottom, figure it out, and work our way up. If I've got any more photos of Buzz, I'm trying to think what else I have of him, but I'll put them in on the end here. And straight after Buzz is Cow Pony. If you've followed me for a long time, you will know about him. I can't talk too much about Cow Pony because I will get upset and I will cry. I'm going to put the slideshow in that I put to announce that we lost Cow Pony last year. I'm going to put that in because that's got all his best photos in, and if there's some videos, I'll put the videos in. There's lots of videos, but I'll find some, and I might do a bit of voiceover, but I'm just going to let the videos and the pictures of him do the talking because he's the best. He will always be the best, and there will never be another Cow Pony. And in the comments, if you want to share any of your Cow Pony memories, I would love that. And here is Cow Pony. These are all going by quite quickly, so I'm not even going to try and talk about them, but you can see that he did everything. I had him aged 14, he was rising 6, and I lost him aged 30, and he was 22. That was at Aachen. He took me to Aachen, he took me internationally. He was second at Windsor. He did displays at Blenheim. He did displays at the Game Fair. He won every Side Saddle Rider of the Year title. He broke side saddle records. He moved the mould for what a side saddle horse could or should be. He came inside the village pub. There he is. He was one of a kind. My dream was to make Horse and Hound, and he did it 3 times. The front cover of the Dorset magazine. There wasn't anything that he couldn't do, that he hadn't tried. And he was the kindest person. This doesn't even do him justice. It's a really bad screen record, but he was the best. I think it's important to show as well. I had him as a young horse and he'd done nothing. And a young me and him just gave everything a go. And he just turned into a complete legend. He is the definition of a horse of a lifetime, and I really feel like this footage isn't doing him any justice, but I just hope you can all see how cool he was. And just for good measure, here we are at the FEI European opening ceremony in 2015 in Aachen, in that arena in Germany. He deserved every minute of that, and I'm just going to share that photo again because it's a complete career highlight for him. He didn't have a single karma and he strutted in like he owned the place, and I'm so proud that we got to go and we got that amazing, incredible photo and so many amazing memories. So next up is Marley Man. I'd had Marley since he was a foal. I got him at 10 months old. He was bred to be a coloured show horse, and he's bay. So I knew his breeders through doing coloured showing with Bert, which is Cow Pony's stable name. And I got Marley in 2016. So he was born in 2015 and I got him in the March of 2016. And he was just growing in the field for ages. He was very naughty, very tricky to handle, very spirited, and I didn't like him. I tried to sell him a few times, actually, as a young horse. I just thought it was above what I could do. I thought producing Bert from a 5-year-old, right, let's go another step, let's do a foal, and it was not an easy road to start with. He broke my nose breaking him in. I wonder if I don't know if I've got that photograph. If I can find it, I'll insert it here in this gap. Yeah, he broke my nose breaking him in, so he went to a friend to finish breaking him in. And she rang me after having him for a few days, and she said, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but he has been good as gold. She said, you must have done something right. I think it was a freak accident, and you don't want me to sell him, because I told her that he can go there and he can stay there and she can sell him. And she said, come on, you don't want me to sell him. So I went to go and ride him there for the first, I think it was 4 weeks, and then he came home. I'll try and find some of the footage from when he came home, and then it was all down to me, and that was as a 4-year-old, and now we are here 5 years later, so he's a 9-year-old now, having just gone around Badminton grassroots. And my friend that helped finish breaking him in will now say that she told me so, which she did. And he's been a complete superstar. He had a tough act to follow, but he never had shoes to fill, and I'm always so clear when I say that to people. He didn't have shoes to fill. He's going to have his own shoes. He's going to do his own thing, and that he is. But yes, if you didn't know, I bought Marley for not very much money as a foal, and had him down here. I did do some in-hand showing with him as a young horse. I will find those photographs as well and find baby Marley as a yearling. I think I did one show as a yearling as a 2-year-old, and I don't think I took him out as a 3-year-old. I think I might have done 2 as a 2-year-old, I think is what I did. So he did the odd in-hand outing, and he did one outing to have his balls removed as a, I think 2.5-year-old, because he just got too much to handle. And yeah, I'm going to find some footage. I know I've got quite a lot of footage of Marley, so I'll find some from the beginning, when we first started out, and then we can look at the progress. But again, I didn't buy him ready-made. I haven't got an arena at home. I've just got paddocks. I say just, I'm very grateful to have those. My husband is a farmer, I'm very grateful for that, but I don't have a fancy setup is what I'm trying to say. I don't have loads of money, haven't bought really expensive horses, and I'm not from a horsey background, so I'm hoping that maybe my horse journey could just show you don't need the horsey background, you don't need hundreds of thousands of pounds, you don't need the Instagrammable stables. I worked very hard. I'm happy to put a lot of time and effort in. When I worked full time, I obviously don't at the moment because I have a baby. When I did work full time, I was seen riding at 6 o'clock in the morning in a head torch, in the rain, bareback in a rain sheet. If I had to, I would just do what I needed to do. And yeah, I'm going to add some footage of Marley and do some more voiceovers. So by the end of this, however long this vlog's going to be, you're going to be really bored of hearing my voice. Right, I'm going to see if I can keep up because the videos are quite short. So this is our first ever walk around the paddock at home with me breaking him in. And the next video is not at home. So this is now after he broke my nose. He went to my friend's yard to help me, and this is my first ride back on him. And it did shatter my confidence, and I wanted her to sell him. And here she is making me try and fall in love with him again. So we went up to my friend Hannah's yard every few days to ride him, and this is our first canter. And I had been dying to ride his canter, first ever canter. I hadn't cantered him at home before this either. His canter had always looked so balanced, and I've been dying to ride it. And this for me was just the moment where I thought, no, I am going to do this. I'm going to produce this horse myself. And I can do it, and I think here is our first ever jump before I take him back home again. And you can see there was some scope already there, a lovely first jump. This is our first canter back in the paddock at home, back in familiar surroundings, and he was so good. And here's our first jump, so it all went from here. It was actually Thomas that came with me to every single morning to ride him in the paddock when we first came back. And this is our first outing. This is at Granny Jinx's. Sorry for any background noise, I've distracted the baby with toys. For those of you local to me will know Granny Jinx, Jinx Briar. She's a complete legend, and she had to be my first visit away from home, and I started quite tentatively riding him, and she was like, come on, get a contact. Yes, he's a baby, but you can still ride him forwards, you can still get him in a contact. And this is my friend Florence's horse's ears. There she is, there's Granny Jinx. I'm sure she won't be impressed that she's going to be
Granny,
on YouTube.
you're on video.
And this is our first ever outing in the trailer, and off we went. And I was absolutely made to bits. I was still really nervous, really nervous, which is unlike me, but then we started to grow in confidence. But I was so happy. This video is quite long, so I'm going to cut this one down, but I think from here we go for our first dressage test. Not cutting it down, I'm obviously talking too much. This is just a snippet of us in the warm-up. We did come last, but I didn't care. I just wanted to do it. My aim was to have a dressage test done by, I think it was July of that summer. And we did, and he didn't do anything wrong. He was just a baby, and I rode him like a baby, but we got there and we did it, and that was the main thing, and I was so proud of us. This is at Kingston Moor, where we do most of our things. And here is our first ever Joe lesson, and I think my next vlog after this is going to be our current newest Joe lesson, so hopefully you'll enjoy seeing the difference. But we just did the tiny cross poles, we didn't do any of those uprights. This is his first time seeing fillers, anything like that, and this is the lesson that I went in and said, I don't like this horse, he's not for me. And Joe said, actually, I really like this horse, and she has guided us the entire way and even came to Badminton with us. First clear round. Gosh, I don't know if you're getting bored by just hearing me say first this, first that, but this is his first clear round. I think it was maybe 60 centimetres. He hadn't knocked that jump down, they were just putting it up to the next height. And you can see he was baby, but he was so good. He just popped round, a bit wobbly, took it all in his stride, and it started to really set the tone for what kind of a horse I was going to have to produce. And he really enjoyed his jumping, and he just comes through the double here. There you go, just a bit baby, a bit wobbly, but super genuine. Okay, I'll jump it. And I think next we have our first cross country, first arena cross country at Pontypool. Sorry for the really bad videos, these are all saved from Facebook. I'm not sure where they are on my phone, I'm not very organised. And he flew. He was a little bit unsure at the log at first, and as soon as he kind of said, I said to him, look, come on, we're jumping this, he was off. Look at the dust. He absolutely loved it, and this has really set the tone then for his love of cross country. But this is his first ever time seeing any kind of solid fences, any arena like this. We went with my good friend Pippa, who guided us. We're still really nervous at this point, at least I was. I trust him implicitly now, but at the time just didn't trust him. And if those of you that have been to Pontypool know what an amazing facility it is. And look at him down the step, so brave. And this would be him as a 5-year-old. This would be March of his 5-year-old year, so actually rising 5, just before COVID, because he's a 2015 foal. And then first cross country on grass. So this is Mrs. Briar's again, back there. So she's got lots of nice small fences, lots of them are all in a straight line, so it's just nice for him to go. He's barefoot at the moment, he doesn't have shoes on. And then here we are at our first ever cross-country course. It's also a BE event. This is around Morton. That was actually one of the 90s. And he loved every second. He was an absolute superstar. And just before I got too attached to him, I thought, in the end of his 5-year-old year, let's see if he goes side saddle. And this was the result. And this brings us to our first ever one-day event at the end of his 5-year-old year. 27.3 double clear around an unaffiliated 80 for second place, which I didn't realise what we'd done at the time, but it was unbelievable, and he loved every second. We were bang on the optimum time. I didn't wear a watch. He just has that rhythm, and this is him through the penultimate fence at Morton, which is actually a BE venue as well, and I was so proud of us. A month later we went back to Morton for the unaffiliated 90 this time, and he got a 33.5 dressage in rather awful conditions from my memory, clear show jumping, and then a rider steering error on the cross country. I was still so new to eventing, still am really, and there were 2 logs in a wood, which felt like a really tight turn at the time, and now actually they don't look so tight. Anyway, completely missed the second fence and steered him straight past. But other than that, as far as he knew, we were double clear. I didn't think I had any footage, but here it is. You can see how awful the weather was. So this is the end of his 5-year-old year at Morton. You can just see he's quite green. Now I can see that he felt green to start with, so I probably should. There's other things I would have done differently, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter now anyway. But yes, there were 2 logs on a curving line, and I just sailed straight past the second one. He wasn't experienced enough to help me out, which he could have done, and I wasn't experienced enough to ride the line properly. But we've learnt a lot since then. And it seems like we spent a lot of time at Morton at the beginning, because we did the 90 again in the spring of his 6-year-old year, which is what I'm going to post now. Look at him go. Okay, now we are in the spring of 2021, so 6-year-old Marley, and back out in March for unaffiliated 90 again at Morton, following their BE in the spring. And this is where the wheels started to fall off for us a little bit at the beginning of 2021, and I'm not sure why. You can see here, or I can now, that he's jumping really greenly. I'm having to kick at the fillers. So at some point during our winter training, Marley has lost some confidence. I don't know where, because I didn't have a lot of footage of training at the time, because I go to nearly all of my things on my own, especially lessons. And you will see him come around the corner, is it this time, into the double, and the wheels come off and Marley stops, which is completely unheard of for him. So I'm coming around to represent now. And even since, he's not a stopper, but you can see that he's green. He's not that happy. I'm not sure what happened. We finished the rest of the round. And this was the tone actually for the beginning of our 2021. There's some footage in a minute from Pontypool, which I will share with you all. Yeah, he's very green, and I caught him in the mouth there, which I'm not proud of.
You don't hail a taxi in a show arena, when do you?
I'll let the round finish. But yes, some confidence has been lost, and I'm not sure where. But I think it's important to post that these things happen, because 2 years later he qualified for badminton. So that's quite a short space of time, considering at the minute we're 2 events in to his whole career. But I'm not sure where it went wrong or why it went wrong, but it did, and I think it's important to share. But I will share our cross-country round from this day. Here it is. I'm going to leave the commentary in and hope you can hear me and my friend Florence, because she's so funny.
He's blue.
And again, he's jumping boldly, and he flew the cross-country. We got a 29.5, the 4 in the show jumping, clear cross-country with no time, and I think we came 5th. I think we're definitely in the top 10, so I was really pleased with that. It's a shame about the show jumping. So we are now a month later at an unaffiliated 90 at Pontypool, my least favourite venue, and you will see why. And the wheels completely fell off. I was here on my own. A friend really kindly that was already at the event captured this on video, and I asked her to send it to me afterwards so I could see what happened. Stopped at fence 1. We represented, and he jumped it fine, green but fine. I can't remember if we've ever been to Pontypool before this moment, and stopped at number 2, represented, he jumped it. You can see he isn't happy. He then came around to number 3, stopped at 3, and we got eliminated. So we went to go and see our magical fairy godmother, Jo Rimmer, to go and help us with whatever had gone wrong. And she just said he's lost some confidence somewhere. Again, we didn't know where, so we came to Dorset Showground to try and rectify it. And as you can see, he is flying again. So after lots of show jumping lessons, we're now at the end of May 2021, and I was persuaded to do the Cotswold Cup. We went to go and stay with a friend, and this is our first Cotswold Cup 80 show jumping round. I think this was at Oxtalls, but I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not very familiar with the venues up that way. I've watched this back twice now. I'm really pleased with this round. How old would he have been in 2021? A 6-year-old, just 6. Both of us new to eventing, both coming back after a big confidence knock. And you can see I'm kicking him a bit. I mean, if I kicked him like that now, we'd be flying. But I loved this round, and he was bold, and finished with a clear round, which I was really proud of. I've actually turned the sound off because my friend that kindly videoed was stood next to someone with the radio, and all you could hear is their radio, but you can hear me saying, good boy, classic me the whole way round, and you can see they're absolutely thrilled with him. And onto the cross country, you can see the cross country confidence was not knocked at all. He was super bold, super keen, and he always has been cross country. And he flew. We were double clear, and I'm pretty sure we were second at Oxtalls for the Cotswold Cup. You can see my face just grinning. We'd also managed to bag a lesson with Caroline Moore on her only trip, as far as I'm aware at the moment, down here to teach Your Average Joe, and that was a really insightful lesson that we enjoyed thoroughly. But I love cross country on this horse. I'm not going to include all of his Cotswold Cups and all of his whatever, but this was his first one, and I thought it was important to put this on here as part of the journey. And you can see he's still very much a baby, but he is loving every second, as am I. We are now a couple of weeks after our second place double clear at the Cotswold Cup, and we are back at Pontispool, the dreaded Pontispool. I didn't want to come back, but it was a riding club qualifier, so I really felt like I should. Just including a snippet of his dressage. I don't have very much dressage footage of the early days, and we got a 29.7 for this. So I was quite pleased with it, and you can see it was a gorgeous day. I'm not going to include too much of the dressage. We will get on to the jumping, but I thought I'd let you all know we are back at Pontispool. This arena will look familiar to you all. I am going to leave this 80 round with you for the riding club, and so you can see the difference from just, I think it was 8 weeks before this, 6 to 8 weeks before this, where it all went wrong for us. Look how bold he is over the first fence. So I'm going to leave the progress. I'm going to let you enjoy, hopefully, and watch this round from us for an 80 at Pontispool. So I can see here we're coming around the corner on the wrong leg, which just shows how babyish he was back then, but he still jumped it beautifully for me. The cross-country footage isn't very good. I know the whole thing has been in portrait, so I do apologise, but I just wanted to put it out there that we were a 29.7 double clear for individual third, team first, and we qualified for the National Championships at Pontispool, of all places. I couldn't not include this photograph, which was from another Cotswold Cup, another double clear and fifth, but you can see how wet the conditions were. I think we had like a 34 dressage because Marley didn't like the wind and the rain, but I just love this photo.
Chloe Marsh is next to start with Naskill Show Off. Young horse, Chloe has owned. Young horse, Chloe has owned Tinder Foal.
So I wanted to let the beginning of the commentary start before I started talking over it, because I like the beginning of the commentary, and I love the guy doing the commentary, Spencer, I think that's his name. I think he's a brilliant commentator. So this is when I took Marley to Barbury, and it has to feature on here because I remember pulling up to Barbury on my own. I heard of Barbury, I heard of the big events. Joe had competed at the 4-star the week before, and I just wasn't prepared for what I was about to see, and it felt so special, and I felt so lucky to be there. And to begin with, I was like, oh, but it's only 80. And then since then, I've got into this mindset that actually it's not only 80. You still have to ride 3 phases and get over all the fences, no matter what the height. And it was a really decent 80. So this is our, we're still really new to eventing at this stage. And I can't remember our dressage score. I think it was a 28 or a 29. It was definitely a sub 30. And I can't find the dressage score either. I probably could if I really, really looked, but I haven't. But it was a very good dressage score, and the show jumping was in the same arena that the international show jumping was, and it was the same course, just the triple was out and the fences were smaller, and it just felt like such a treat. He jumped a lovely clear show jumping. Again, I don't have any footage because I was on my own, and I couldn't resist buying this footage from An Eventful Life because it just felt like the best round we jumped so far. And it was such a treat to be there. And you can see he's flying. He's absolutely cruising. And the highlight for me was that I'd finished. I didn't know how well I'd done because I don't check the scores as I'm going around, like between phases. And I got back and I was parked next to some Welsh riders, and they'd had a great time. They were, I think, one was in the top 10 and one was just outside, and they were celebrating, all in good spirits. And then the guy turned to me and he said, "Oh, how have you done?" I said, "I don't know, I haven't got signal." So he had a look for me. And I don't even know if I'm going to try and do the Welsh accent, but he was like, "Bloody hell, you've come second! Go to the bar!" So they came with me and we all went and got Pims at the bar. And it was just amazing. I couldn't believe that we'd come second. I think we might have even been a 27 now on dressage. Anyway, you just watched him jump through Stonehenge, which I was really worried about. I thought that was a really big ask for where we were. It doesn't look like much on the footage, but it was quite a tricky combination, but he flew. You can see at that last fence he got a bit close to the hedge, but it wasn't a problem for him. He chipped in a short one, which is his go-to. He likes to chip in a short one. And here he is through the water. I was just really pleased. I don't buy these videos very often. In fact, the only other one I've bought is from Badminton. So Badminton and Barbury. And he's been to Blenheim. So the three big Bs. I can't complain. I can't imagine I'm going to be going around the 5-star at Burley anytime soon, though. But you can just see the whole time his little ears are pricked. And this is where it was this round and this result that I was like, okay, we're okay at this eventing stuff, which I hadn't really paid much attention to before. And when they jump the penultimate fence of Barbury, which is a long course like that, you know that you are on something very clever. And here he is into the last, which was very similar to the last fence at Badminton, actually. A little bit defensive in my riding, but I just wanted to get over the last fence, and we had loads of time. Big pats as we crossed the finish line. So following on from Barbury is the British Riding Club National Championships. This was by far the trickiest show jumping and cross country Marley had ever seen. So I think you'll see on the video in a minute, they're all trade stands on this side of the camera and at the other end, which he's never seen before. And he went in there and took it all in a stride. I have no cross country footage, but I've attached the 2 photos that I bought after this. And it was the most testing cross country track I've ever seen, and still probably for an 80, the most testing, I think, in relative to how big it was. But he did a 28.8 dressage double clear to come second at his first national championships, and still so new to eventing. It was probably one of my most favourite memories with him. And he really deserved it, actually. I feel like we'd come a long way from where we were at the beginning of our 80 season. He's full of confidence. He flew, and I remember hearing in the background of the video someone saying, "Gosh, he's only a 6-year-old. He's going to be special." In between all the eventing for our first competitive season, I did Marley's first ever side saddle show at Dorset County Show, of all places, just to see if he would take the side saddle, because that was ultimately my end goal. And as you can see here, Marley won and took the championship, which I was thrilled about. And back to the eventing, we are now at the Cotswold Cup Championships at Gatcombe, and this is the only video I can find. We did the 80 championships, and Marley did a 31.5 double clear to come 5th in a section of over 50. And I couldn't believe it. We are now into 2022, first event of the season and our first ever BE. So I did an 80 and he had a 29.3 dressage double clear for 5th, which I was pleased about. There may have been some additional time penalties because I turned wrong just after this photo was taken, ended up on the wrong side of the white tape and had to turn around and go back again, which dropped us from second place. But never mind, he jumped really well for a first season out and our first BE. Finally, I have some footage. This is our first BE 90, affiliated BE at Portman Horse Trial, so not too far away. And there he is doing some of his dressage test and onto the show jumping. The dressage test was a 31.3. The show jumping I thought was very big and very up to height. I remember thinking that for our first 90 it was quite undulating, which you can't really see on the video, but he jumped a beautiful clear round for me. I'm going to leave you all to watch it rather than me ramble on.
I begin to
31.3, double clear inside the time for fourth. Couldn't have asked for any more for his first affiliated 90. We are now at Firle Place for our first ever area festival. We have done another BE in between these and we came third with a 29.3, I think the dressage was. I haven't posted the dressage for Firle Place on purpose because we were really hard done by, 36.5 I think, which he's never done before. So he went a bit green on me in the show jumping there. I think I rode a little bit backwards. Very twisty course as well, and it was a huge atmosphere, unlike anything he's ever seen. And we pick up our pace in a minute, and he does jump a lovely clear. I remember them reading out my dressage score for the show jumping, and I think that probably didn't help, and feeling really, really deflated and that he didn't deserve that. So we had one judge had us on a 30 and one had us on something nearly up to 40. So there was a huge difference. But that's the way dressage is, and I was just happy to be at my first area festival. Didn't ever think we would be doing area festivals this soon on and doing a double clear. So spoiler alert, yes, we jumped clear in the show jumping and a clear in the cross country. We had a few time penalties in the cross country because Muggins here got lost again. I really need to stop doing that. It's always been a worry of mine, but he jumps a lovely clear in front of a really beautiful house, and it was a real treat to compete there. I do have some cross-country footage, but it's really bad because of the rain, but I do have a really cool cross-country photo to share with you all. There it is, and you can see the weather. And here we are now at Frickley later on in the season for their area festival. So we've done one BE and one riding club event in the middle of the two area festivals. So I don't event him very hard. I try and stick by the rule of one a month. So Frickley was in August and Firle was in May, and we did a riding club event in June and Tweedledown BE in the July. I thought I would make a difference and put some dressage footage in because it was a lovely dressage arena and I was actually really, really pleased with this dressage test. He then did go on to jump a lovely double clear. I only have a photograph of him show jumping in front of the beautiful house at Frickley. I can't find any of the other footage. I'm sure there is some. I think it was actually WhatsApped to me, which is why I can't find it. We were awarded with a 33.5 for this dressage test, which I was really pleased with at an area festival. Again, quite a big atmosphere, more than he's ever seen, and he can get quite nervous. And it was our first real season. As I said already, didn't expect to be doing area festivals, so I was just pleased to be there. And we had a top 10 finish at our area festival for 9th place, which I didn't realise at the time, but it was one place away from qualifying for badminton in our first season, which I just couldn't believe, and that was good enough for me. I was quite happy with that. The 2023 season took a bit of time to get going for us, lots of abandoned events, but here we are at Mendip in May, B90 29 double clear for second place. Thrilled to bits with him. Sorry, the footage is a bit poor. All I have is this photo. I don't know where the footage is all gone, but there was footage, I think. Finally, I have some footage from Tweedledown. This for us was a 30.8 double clear for another second place. So 2023 really was an amazing season for us, even though we barely did any events. And I was pregnant with Ottilie, actually by Mendip as well. I was pregnant with Ottilie and for this event, but not too far along. I think I was 3 months, maybe 3.5 months in this video. Anyway, he flew around the show jumping, didn't bat an eyelid at anything. The first fence where he got that quite big jump, a lot of horses were stopping. I'm not sure why or what was causing any problems. But I love this event. It is one of our more local ones. It's quite a decent drive, but it's probably one of my favourite events to go to. The ground is always good, the cross country is amazing, and the show jumping's always built really well. So I'm really pleased that we have it as a nice local venue. But it was a lovely clear from Marley Man. I will now let you enjoy some very rare cross country footage of him and I at Tweedledown clear inside the dime. We then had two regional finals. So we had Port Elliot and then we had Blindley Heath. I actually retired him at Port Elliot, which I've never done. We were lying in second place. We were clear show jumping. The weather was abysmal. It was so awful. And he started to back off a plain log. I think it was fence 7 in the cross country. He was sinking down over his passage, so I put my hand up and pulled him out. It wasn't worth it. People thought I was crazy because we were in a badminton spot, but it wasn't worth it enough for me, especially the fact that I was pregnant and I was listening to him. He wasn't happy. I appreciate I'm just talking over a screenshot of our win at Blindley Heath. So the following week, it was my cut-off for jumping because I would have been too pregnant. And a friend of mine said, come on, let's just go and have some fun. And that's exactly what we did. I had absolutely no idea when I crossed the cross-country finish line where we were, how we were doing. But as you can see, he won the regional final by quite a few marks on a 29 double clear, qualifying us for Badminton 2024. Hello, back on my sofa, different outfit because I am definitely a few weeks later from when I first started doing this vlog. I'm going to leave it there, which is a bit of a weird one because I've left it on an Eventing Scores screenshot of our win at a regional final. We've all seen the badminton footage. I did do a separate, it wasn't really a vlog, but a separate bit of footage for Marley's badminton cross-country round, which I did do a voiceover for. And I feel like winning a regional final in your second year of eventing, having done about a dozen events, doesn't get much better than that. So I'm going to leave that there. It's definitely not the end of our journey. I know I haven't spoken about Cowpony barely at all, and I feel now I've come to the end of editing this vlog that I might go back and do another one just for him because I've done him absolutely no justice at all, but I don't know if I will ever be able to, and I have very little footage of him. So it would be a case of maybe a photograph slideshow, me talking about all the amazing things he did. Whether that would be boring or you're bored of hearing the sound of my voice, let me know in the comments, please, if you want anything about Cowpony, because I can do that. And I know that I very briefly rushed over him, and this has been very much the Marley show again, but he's where I'm at. He's what all the vlogs are about now, and what you're all following. But I think I could do a Cowpony one if that's what everyone would like. But really, I wanted to do this to just show that I didn't come from a horsey background. I didn't have loads of money. I haven't got an arena, and we still made it to Badminton grassroots really pretty soon on in our eventing journey. I've got lots of exciting things planned for him this year. I want to get the side saddle out more. I will be eventing him. I am going to go back to the Cotswold Cup. I thoroughly enjoyed that series, and now I feel like I can compare Cotswold Cup and BE, and I had fun doing both. I feel like I've done badminton and ticked that box, so I don't need to go back and prove anything. And it's much harder now I've got a baby, so I'm going to be realistic with my goals. We are registered with BD, and I didn't include any of that. I just sort of focused on the eventing. He has done a few BD outings at prelim and won all of them. We've had a go at some novices, and I think we came third. Did we come third? And then we came last in the second novice test, but that's fine. And we do a bit of show jumping. He would be really good show jumping. It's just there is a little bit around here, but it doesn't interest me that much. I don't know what it is about show jumping. I'm really rubbish against the clock. But I do love dressage. I do love a bit of dressage. So anyway, I'm rambling now. But the point is, we will go out and do a bit of everything this year. Not all the time, but a bit of side saddle, a bit of BD. We have got the BD area festivals coming up next month. So that's a really good aim. And just, yeah, a bit of everything. If you want to see us do anything, or you want me to vlog anything, again, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I've absolutely loved all of your support so far, especially after the vlog we did with Tina at Life on the Left Rein. And I will keep hopefully doing these if you guys keep enjoying them. Thank you very much.